students, how are you? I hope all are good. Today let we start SST chapter number 4, the Mughal 16th to 17th century, यानी कि 16वीं और 17वीं शताब्दी में मुगल के बारे में. Many men like us have taken breath at the spring and have passed away in the twinkling of an eye. We took the world by courage and might, we could not take it with us to the grave. मतलब बहुत से लोगों ने यहाँ पे सांसें ली, बहुत से लोग पलक झपकते ही चले गए, है ना. तो अब कैसे उनका यहाँ पे राज हुआ, तो इस बारे में ये कहावत कही गई है. बाबर. These words from the बाबरनामा tell us about the founder of the Mughal Empire. अब ये शब्द हमें कहाँ से मिला, हमें क्या पता, हमारी हिस्ट्री में का, ठीक है. तो ये शब्द हमें मिला बाबरनामा से, जो लिखी गई थी उस समय पे. When Babur lost the kingdom of Fargana to warring tribes, he looked towards India to conquer new lands. At this line, Rana Sanga, the ruler of Mewar, and Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, invited Babur to out Ibrahim Lodi from the throne of Delhi. अब जो है, अब बाबर ने क्या किया, क्या करना चाह रहा था, वो दिल्ली पे अपना अधिकार जमाना चाह रहा था, पूरे भारत पे अधिकार जमाना चाह रहा था. तो राणा सांगा और मेवाड़ के जो शासक थे, और दौलत खान लोधी और पंजाब के जो गवर्नर थे, ठीक है ना, उन्होंने बाबर को इनवाइट किया आउट इब्राहिम लोधी फ्रॉम द थ्रोन ऑफ दिल्ली. In April 1526, Ibrahim Lodi's huge but ill-disciplined army met Babur's small but well-trained army at Panipat. अब इब्राहिम लोधी की बहुत बड़ी आर्मी थी, बट कोई डिसिप्लिन नहीं था उस आर्मी में, ठीक है ना. वो ट्रेन नहीं थी, परफेक्ट नहीं थी. बट उसमें क्या हुआ, बाबर की आर्मी छोटी थी, कम थी, बट वेल ट्रेन थी, परफेक्ट थी. तो क्या किया, पानीपत के युद्ध में उसको उन्होंने हरा दिया. इब्राहिम्स आर्मी वाज डिफीटेड एट द फर्स्ट बैटल ऑफ पानीपत. तो इब्राहिम की जो सेना थी, इब्राहिम्स आर्मी वाज डिफीटेड, वो हारी कब, पहला जो पानीपत का युद्ध हुआ था उसमें जो है उसको हरा दिया गया. आफ्टर कैप्चरिंग द थ्रोन ऑफ दिल्ली, बाबर हैड टू डील विद टू पावरफुल एनिमीज, राणा सांगा, द राजपूत किंग ऑफ मेवाड़, and the Afghan chief of Bengal, Nusrat Shah. He inflicted a crushing defeat on the Rajputs at the Battle of Khanwa. In 1527, thereafter, Babur defeated the Afghans in the Battle of Ghagra in 1528. Thus, he quickly established his power from Delhi and Agra to Bihar. Babur laid the foundation of a vast and powerful Mughal empire and developed techniques of warfare. In 1530, he fell ill and passed away at the age of only 48. Humayun, the eldest among Babur's 4 sons, was proclaimed his successor. Sher Shah Suri and Sur Empire 1540 to 1545. Sher Shah was originally named Farid Khan. Sher Shah का जो ओरिजिनल नाम था वो फरीद खान था. His father Hasan Khan Suri was a Jagirdar at Sasaram in Bihar. He laid the foundation of the Sur dynasty. He raised a large army and occupied the modern-day states of Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Under Sher Shah, the whole empire was divided into 47 provinces or sarkars and parganas of district. He duly supervised the recruitment of soldiers, maintained their descriptive roles, and revived the practice of branding horse. The Sher Shah also introduced the silver coin called the rupiah. Sher Shah built a network of excellent roads such as the Grand Trunk Road that connected Delhi, Agra, Multan and Sonargan in Bengal, now in Bangladesh. Mughals relations with other rulers. मुगल्स के जो हैं रिश्ते कैसे थे और अदर शासकों के साथ. The Mughal rulers campaigned constantly against rulers who refused to accept their authority, but as the Mughals became powerful, many of those rulers joined them voluntarily. The Rajputs are a good example of this. Many of them also married their daughters into Mughal families and received high position. Okay, but many resisted as well. The Sisodia Rajputs of Mewar refused to accept Mughal authority for a long time. Once defeated, however, they were honorably treated by the Mughals. They were given their lands, Watan, back as assignment, Watan Jagir, the careful balance between defeating but not humiliating their opponents enabled the Mughals to extend their influence over many kings and chieftains. Abul Fazl, who was the Wazir and historiographer in Akbar's court, wrote the Akbarnama. It is a rich source of information about Akbar's life during the Mughal period. Akbarnama had 3 volumes. In its last volume, Ain-e-Akbari, Abul Fazl discussed broad features of Akbar's administration. Abul Fazl explained that the empire was divided into provinces called Subas, governed by a Subedar who carried out both political and military functions. Each province also had a financial officer or Diwan for the maintenance of peace and order in the province. The Subedar was supported by other officers such as the military paymaster, Bakshi बोलते हैं जिसको, the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, Sadr, and military commanders, Fauzdars, and the town police commander, Kotwal. To bring about great order in military system, Akbar introduced Mansabdari system, i.e. a system that consisted of a hierarchy of ranks or offices in 1574 CE. Mansab in Arabic means rank. Every civil or military official, Mansabdar, was given a jagir or a piece of land according to its zat or rank. The Mansabdars drew their salaries from the revenue of the jagirs. Rajput policy. Akbar was a wise, realistic and secular ruler. He realized very early that a tolerant and secular approach was needed to expand Mughal influence. This approach made him popular among the masses and the Rajputs as well. Akbar won over the hearts of the Rajput rulers by respecting their pride and culture. He found that Rajput warriors were skilled, brave and loyal. Therefore, even after defeating several Rajput kings, he allowed them to rule over their territories. The Rajput rulers also supported Akbar, commanded the army of supplied contingents during a war. Akbar encouraged matrimonial alliances with Rajputs. He was a tolerant and sensitive emperor who allowed his Hindu wives to follow Hinduism. Many Rajputs like Raja Bhagwan Das and Raja Man Singh were given high posts in Akbar's administration. और अकबर जो है ना वो मानता था, जो राजा थे ना हमारे, जो हिंदू राजा थे उनको मानता था और हिंदू धर्म का सम्मान भी बहुत करता था. Despite Akbar policy, some Rajput states like Ranthambore and Jodhpur refused to accept Akbar's suzerainty. मतलब इनको पसंद नहीं आया, वो अकबर से कनेक्शन नहीं बनाना चाहते थे. So he attacked their territories and conquered them. Akbar defeated Rana Uday Singh of Mewar and conquered Chittor. Rana Uday Singh's son Rana Pratap continued the struggle. He successfully recovered much of Mewar, but he was unable to recover Chittor. Religious policy. Akbar followed a liberal religious policy and believed in the equality and unity of all religions. जैसे मैंने भी बताया था कि सब यूनिटी, सभी में एकता होती है, सारे धर्मों को वो एक ही मानता था, कुछ ऐसा अलग से नहीं था. Some of the prominent features of Akbar's religious policies are given below. 1. Akbar gave grants to numerous Hindu temples. Akbar got the epic like Ramayana, Mahabharata translate into Persian. Also, Ramayana और महाभारत को उसने पर्शियन में भी ट्रांसलेट कराया था. In 1562 CE, Akbar abolished the pilgrim tax on bathing at holy places like Banaras and Prayag. उसने क्या किया, जो वहाँ पे टैक्स लगते थे ना उनको हटा दिया. बाथिंग होली प्लेसेस लाइक बनारस और प्रयागराज में, बनारस एंड प्रयागराज. In 1564 CE, Akbar abolished jizya, a tax which paid by non-Muslim. Art and culture. Akbar was a great patron of art. He was famous for the brilliance of the court that he maintained. There were Navratna or 9 gems his court. तो उसकी जो कोर्ट थी वो 9 नवरत्नों से फेमस थी. They included Tansen, the court singer. उसके दरबार का कौन था सिंगर, गायक तानसेन. Musician Abul Fazl, court poet chronicle Birbal. He was famous for his wit and wisdom. Okay, Todarmal, the finance minister, and Man Singh, a trusted general. Noor Jahan. In 1611 CE, Emperor Jahangir married Mehrun-Nisha. He gave her the title of Noor Jahan or Light of the World. She remained extremely loyal and supportive to the monarch. ठीक है, वो बहुत सपोर्टिव थी. एज अ मार्क of honor, Jahangir struck silver coins bearing his own titles on one side, and on the other the inscription struck in the name of the Queen Begum Noor Jahan. The adjoining document is an order farman of Noor Jahan. The square seal states command of her most sublime and elevated Majesty Noor Jahan Padshah Begum. The round seal states, by the son of Shah Jahangir she become as brilliant as the moon. May Noor Jahan Padshah be the lady of the age. Next one is Shah Jahan. Jahangir's death started a war of succession amongst his son. Finally, Prince Khurram successfully occupied the throne in 1627. He was given the title of Shah Jahan, meaning ruler of the world. Shah Jahan gave patronage to poets, philosophers, scholars and artists. He showed immense interest in architecture. He built the Taj Mahal at Agra in 1643. A new city called Shahjahabad, the seventh city of Delhi, was also constructed in his reign. He made it his capital in 1657 CE. Shah Jahan fell ill and a war of succession broke out among his four sons Dara, Shuja, Murad and Aurangzeb before his death. So, in 1658 CE, Aurangzeb ascended the throne after defeating his brothers and killing his main rival Dara. He made his father Shah Jahan a prisoner at Agra fort and crowned himself as the emperor in 1666 CE. Shah Jahan died. Aurangzeb was given the title of Alamgir, meaning conqueror of the world. He was the last great Mughal ruler. He ruled for 49 years. कितने साल? 49 साल तक उसने राज किया, शासन किया. The Mughal Empire covered nearly the whole of India. ऐसे देखिए यहाँ पे ये जितना भी येलो पार्ट है, कंधार, पानीपत, दिल्ली, फतेहपुर सीकरी, सिख, राजपूत, मेवाड़, मालवा, सिंध, बुंदेलास, बेरर. The Mughal Empire during its expansion recruited diverse group of people. They included Iranians, Indian Muslims, Afghans, Rajput, Marathas and other groups. Those who joined Mughal service were enrolled as Mansabdar. It was grading system used by the Mughals to secure rank, salary and military responsibilities. Rank and salary were determined by a numerical value called Z. The higher the Z, the more prestigious was the noble's position in the court, and the more his salary was a Mansabdar's. Military responsibilities required him to maintain a specified number of savar of cavalrymen. Mansabdars received their salaries as revenue assignment called Jagirs. In Akbar's reign, the Jagirs were carefully assessed to their revenues, were roughly equal to the salary of the Mansabdar. By Aurangzeb's reign, this was no longer the case and the actual revenue collected was often less than the granted sum. There was also a huge increase in the number of Mansabdars, which means a long wait to receive a Jagir. These and other factors created a shortage in the number of Jagirs. As a result, many Jagirdars tried to extract as much revenue as possible while they had a Jagir. Aurangzeb was unable to control these developments in the last years of his reign, and the peasantry therefore suffered huge losses. Zabt and Zamindars. The main source of income for the Mughal rulers were tax on the produce of peasantry. Okay, so in most places peasants paid taxes through the rulers' allies, i.e. the local chieftains. The Mughals used one term Zamindars to describe all intermediaries, whether they were local headmen of villages or powerful chieftains. Each province was divided into revenue circles. This revenue system was known as Jab. It was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administrators could survey the land and keep accounts. The Zamindars exercised a great deal of power. The exploitation by Mughal administrators and Zamindars drove the peasants to rebellions. These revolts by the peasants challenged the stability of the Mughal Empire from the end of the 17th century. So now all topics are covered in this chapter. Okay, I hope you all are very well enjoyed it and understand also. So we will meet you in next class. Thank you.